You're such an asshole.
Hi, Aaron. Coming to you for advice on my career. My problem, I have gaps in knowledge and education that is making it difficult for me to move freely through jobs, make me feel like I have to stay until something magically falls in my lap. No, that is why most Americans are poor or not where they want to be. The whole, it's just going to happen to me. That doesn't, you need to go out and take action. No one loves you. No one cares about you. What can you do for them? Even if you have a good working relationship, they do not care. No one's going to do, there's no magical fall. Stop. Look, you've been walking France Avenue, haven't you? I could tell you've been walking the main drag through Edina. You've been walking France Avenue, looking for that white girl blood, looking for that supplier, right? Shoot it in your veins. Man, all I got to do is exist and good things come to me, man. No. I too walked the streets, France Avenue, back when I was like a teenager. Oh, it's the good things just happened. Oh, total. No, you make your own luck. This leads to occasional bouts of unemployment and a savings drain. Some details. You are middle age. You got a degree in worthless shit with a minor in more worthless shit. Many years ago, thought I wanted to be a teacher, but changed my mind. Wasted 5 years bouncing around stupid jobs like document management and corporate training, but it was okay because they were Fortune 500s. Finally got hired full-time into an accounting role for a place. I was a temp there. You did some stuff. Immediately took 2 junior college courses, beginning and intermediate accounting, where I did the following for the next 9 years. And then you list some basic entry level kind of accounting stuff. So let me see if I get this right. You wasted 4 years on a worthless degree. You struggle and strive like a starving artist, somehow thinking your worthless degree is going to get you a living wage. You get lucky into an accounting department at a place. You take 2 accounting courses, and you got stable, it seems, employment for 9 years. Did you see how the accounting courses is what the people wanted? Right? You took 2 accounting courses. That was it, man. And you still got some pretty good mileage out of them. Current job for the last 5 years is an analyst doing analysis for a large thing. So now it's starting to get to the point where you have years experience under your belt and no one really bothers to look at your degree. Because at this point in time, it doesn't matter. And that's good because I guess in a way you avoided getting a degree in accounting. You only had to take 2 courses. So this is good. They're looking more at your year's experience. It's a type of job that you like that aspect about, but mostly because it looks good on a resume. Yeah, I'd say so. The title is good. Yeah. I like that there is a bit of art to the work I do, and it beats accounting in that way. It's time to move on. Why? This is what it's time to move on. Problem is the economy looks like shit. I'm still employed, but I don't know for how long. Well, it's not time to move on. If you get fired or laid off, then it is time to move on. All right? It's not time to move on. It's time to make plans in case you have to move on. But this doesn't mean you quit your job. And your job, look, because you're still in the accounting field, generally speaking. Let's just put it that way. Yeah, everybody could get laid off. No one is 100% safe. But like, if you were a DEI hire, I don't mean like, hired because of your race or skin or gender or whatever, but you worked in a DEI department or HR or something like that, I'd be worried about it. But you're still in an accounting role, and accounting roles are pretty mission critical. No, they could lay you off, but it hasn't happened yet. So you don't have to move on. I'm unsure of my next career steps. Among many questions I've asked myself is, should I learn SQL, Python, or some other skill set, or just focus on getting better at Excel? I'm intermediate level Excel. Okay, hang on. Your middle age, Excel isn't a thing, man. Like, you should be pretty damn good at Excel by now. All right. I taught myself Excel. It's not that hard. You've had 20 odd years in this field. And in other words, the evidence is adding up to me that you just don't try. You don't go above and beyond. That's fine. Don't expect above and beyond results then. You're walking on France Avenue again. You're shooting up that white girl blood. Like, well, maybe maybe I just hope there's this idiot that a bunch of really stupid idiots voted for because he said hope and change, and nothing changed because they said, oh, just sit on my ass and do nothing. Okay. And then those people are in the same position they were 12 years later. And you're fine to be honest, with your educational background, you're kind of lucky you got stable employment. But notice it's because you went into accounting. And now you're asking if you want to get kind of more of a database, SQL, Python, some more programming database. It's not going to hurt, but why don't you just skill up in your accounting? Unless you're actually working with databases, like if you're in the realm, I mean, I have to take a look at your resume and you have to explain to me all the jobs you've had. If you're interacting with databases, maybe. But what's wrong with skilling up in accounting? It's hard for me to get recruited for full-time offers. That's because you don't have a real degree. And you don't have that much in terms of accounting skills either. I mostly start as a contractor before I get offered full-time. On the plus side, anytime I'm interviewed, I almost always get the job. Right, because you're probably a good worker. You make a handsome salary, but not really for the place you live. Thanks for reading. And I said, I have a question. Why do you have to move on? You have a job. SQL in the computer world isn't going to be any more interesting. Also, what other accounting skills do you have? QuickBooks, any certifications? Excel isn't a big skill. He said, I don't know QuickBooks and I have no certifications, just the 2 classes I took. Where I worked at accounting, we used IBM AS400 platform, which is ancient. I'm somewhat familiar with a couple SAP products, but I don't have admin skills with it. What is SAP? Is that just like business flow software? SAP. What is SAP? Oh, Jesus. Founded in 1972. La, 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 la. What is SAP? There we go. Enterprise resource planning, analytics, supply chain management, human capital, master data man, data integrate. Okay, so it's kind of it's business management software. And to me, it sounds boring as shit and probably common sense as possible. It sounds like a broader version of supply chain management, like a very robust supply chain or not supply chain management, project management software. Yeah, I'm not even that's not. It's not going to hurt you to learn that. Reading it again, I overstated the importance of leaving my job. It's not necessary that I move on from this job. Now, good, okay. But I stopped learning new on-the-job skills some time ago and feel like I'm wasting time. You're not wasting time. If you weren't getting paid, you'd be wasting your time. You are paid. You are laboring. You are working. You're not wasting your time. You're also getting years experience. And just so you know, I mean, I'm not that much older than you. There's at about the age of 35 or so, you start to realize corporate America will never use you for your full abilities or skills or potential. And I forgot damn near 75, 80% of the stuff I ever used. Man, I was doing some research the other day. I'm like, man, I remember I could find data so much more quickly. I'm kind of like, this is going back to it. It's getting years experience. That's what it is. Now, if you get laid off, yes, you might want to brush up your resume with some new skills. But I don't know why you don't just stick with accounting. You've done it. You have the years experience in it. If you have your current year's experience working in it, and then you coupled that with some more skills or certifications, that would help you with a career in accounting. If you're like bored with accounting, well, SAP or SQL and databases or whatever you're secondarily, if that's a word, interested in, that's not going to be any more exciting either. I would just stick with accounting. I'm thinking that I need to be focused on new skill development, but I don't know which direction to go in. I don't want to learn a skill that's not going to be valued or if it won't increase my income, at least in my next role. What are considered big skills in accounting? Well, a degree in accounting would help because you're working corporate. If you want to strike out on your own, an enrolled agent, but you're going to have to study that, learn taxes and all that. I don't know which direction to go in. I don't want to learn a skill that's not going to be valued or won't increase my income, at least in the next role. Well, if we're going to recession, it ain't going to matter. I mean, if you're laid off, you're going to be facing a recession. And then you're going to be going up against other people who have a lot more years experience and a real degree and certifications. They'll probably get the job before you. So if you get laid off, you're going to be kind of hosed either way, because I do believe we're at least in an economic slowdown. What are considered big skills in accounting? I should have Chad on this one. I've always heard that Excel isn't going away, even with newer tools like Spotfire. I never heard about that. Thanks again. Be happy to respond to more questions. All right. In accounting, if you have intermediate skills in Excel, that's fine. You would really have to pick up QuickBooks if you want to do more of a bookkeeping role. Excel is real good for doing your own financial analysis if you want to go into more of a financial analyst role. What's the other ones? Hang on. Is Peachtree? No, Peachtree. And a lot of these are just going to be for bookkeeping, not necessarily analysis. There's QuickBooks. Oh, yeah, Zoho. I heard about that. Best accounting software. Sage 50. Best accounting. Intuit. That's QuickBooks. I guess SAP, because you're in corporate world. If you learn some SAP, that's not going to hurt you. Because right now you're in a corporate role and you're a W-2er, right? You're not going and striking out on becoming your own self-employed accountant, which boils down to bookkeeping and taxes, which you don't have the skill set for. Learning QuickBooks isn't going to hurt you, but you're not in an account or bookkeeping role. You're in more of a financial analyst, corporate analysis role. So SAP would help. Why don't you do this? Why don't you go online to your company's job boards, take a look at some of the jobs that might interest you, that are within your wheelhouse or something that's adjacent to what you do. Something that seems interesting. Just go look at the job descriptions and what their requirements are in terms of software. What I would do though, and I'm serious, as long as you're in corporate America, and if you got a little bit of extra time, which you do, you got weekends and nights, why don't you enroll in a bachelor's program over at Western Governors University? You could go your own pace. I'm not selling Western Governors University. I'm just saying something to add to your resume. Shows you're serious. Enroll at Western Governors University. Heck, with your bachelor's degree, it shouldn't take, those should carry forward. And put that you're majoring in accounting. And then people are like, oh, this guy's majoring in accounting. It's going to, and by the way, you only have to take like one class. Now, I don't know why you do that, because Western Governors University allows you to take as many classes for a flat fee. So I would just start taking an accounting course, move towards getting an associate's in accounting, then move towards getting a bachelor's. That's going to help, because at least the education will make you more marketable, at least the corporate world. The software, that's where I frankly don't have an answer for you. If you want to become a bookkeeper, yes, Intuit or QuickBooks. If you wanted to do tax accounting. Actually, TurboTax is not bad just to learn how to do taxes. Doing the actual paperwork, filling it out doesn't hurt either. Let me take a look. God, yeah, all these business analysis software. I'm just looking at them. I've not heard of most of these because any kind of analysis I would do would be in Excel. I would be learning how to read financial statements, do financial statement analysis. That's what I would be doing. Like if you could take that course. Yeah, they're Miro, Lucid Chart, Qlik, Tableau. Again, all that you could probably do in Excel. SQL, yeah, Python, Tableau. Yeah, now you're starting to get into being able to pull data and analyze it. Yeah. Like I said before, if you start seeing jobs above you, yeah, our project for statistical computing, where they need you to start pulling the data from databases that you can then do analysis of later, that wouldn't hurt you in your role to learn SQL, I guess. I mean, another thing to kind of guide is like, what do you want to do? You're in the unenviable position of you got to do something to get money and have a good plan B in case you get laid off. So now you got to look where you currently are employed, go online, look for jobs within your company, see what skills you don't have, see what the most common one is. If they got SQL and some more database pulling type of what's the word I'm looking for? It's not software, it's just like command line. Long time ago, like you do queries, you do SQL queries. Take a course in that. There's certifications you could get. I bet you could get SQL certified. Yeah, DataCam here. A bunch of SQL certifications, a ton of them. Coursera, there you go. Here's what I would do. Go online to the job board of your company. Look for jobs that pay a little bit more nearby, some that works for you. Take a look at them and just each one, create an Excel spreadsheet. Tally up what type of certifications they want, and then find the ones that are the top 3 certifications, and there you go. I don't think you got to redo your whole career. I just think you need to skill up and probably get a little bit of education in there for you. And based on, come on, admit it. You majored in sociology because you didn't want to work, right? This has been some like 45 percentile effort work. You're not banging out no 80 hours a week, right? You're reliable, but you got, in other words, you got extra gas in the tank. You got some reserves, right? Why don't you do some research, find a job that you can do, ideally a job you'd like to do within your company. Figure out what the certifications are, go get those certifications. And then if you got a little bit of extra spare time, why don't you look into going and getting your accounting degree? It's weird, but your career so far sounds like business analysis, but I would not go get a business degree, like focus on accounting. And then whether it's going to be you become a database genius or you become a CPA, it's not going to be fun, exciting work. Is this something you'd like to do? Not teaching, not the liberal arts. Is there something that you can do that pays that you'd like to do? And is there a way for you to migrate to that? But that doesn't answer your immediate concern, which is diversifying and hedging the risk that you might get laid off in a recession. And so that's what I would definitely do that. Use the company you got now, see what skills are in demand for jobs that are within your area. Get those skills. You know what? Here's another thing, even more direct. Go to your boss. Hey, boss, I got some extra time. I'm kicking around going back for some kind of education and training. I don't know if that's a degree in accounting. I don't know if you want me to certify in a particular skill or software or some kind of IT related. Give me some guidance here. What else is there for me to do? Like if I pick this up, is there another job I could do? Something like that. Go talk to your boss because you're there now. And it's not like you're a surgeon, like, well, I'm working at this hospital. I can just go work at the other hospital. You have general entry level, low kind of accounting skills. You don't even have a degree. So yeah, go talk to your boss and find out what he or she would recommend. And then, yeah, I'd say start working towards the accounting degree. That's about it. That's all I really got. Zeke Meister. Hey, Zeke, $5. Hey, Caps, you still have the list of careers without degrees. Fumigation work. Oh, yes. Good idea. Let me pull that up. Whiny millennials. Arrival, Cogni, Utah hiking options. Where is it? Oh, I don't have it here. It's back in South Dakota. All right, let me add this. Gotta get this over here. Fumigation. Pest control. I will save this. Jobs without degrees. There we go. There we go. I'll add that to the list when I get to the Northern Command again. Jean Simon LaRose, 5 Canadian. Even with logistics and data management BBA, I'm still looking into electrician licenses and maybe more of recession professional jobs. You mean like white collar recession? It could be to keep outsourcing everything overseas, both for Canada and the US. I think I was surprised even the millennial generation, the labor market could absorb all the business degrees, generalist business degrees being flooding the market. And maybe it's just they've had their fill. Now we got interest rates have gone up. Tech is in recession. There may be a general recession as well. And then they're outsourced. Look, people in India and the Philippines speak English and they can do business. It's not that hard. It's not a super valuable skill. Data management, it depends on how high level. A BAA, not a bachelor's of science in data management? Wouldn't it be data science? Wouldn't they be a bachelor's of science? I'm not looking again for a super chat. I'm just curious. Yeah, it'll be a curious recession. Once we're fully into it and everyone's laid off, then we'll know what kind of recession it is. Like, oh, by the way, it's a white collar recession. All the white collar people laid off. Thanks for letting us know. No problem. We're economists. We tell you what happened 6 months ago. Yeah, we figured. How come you guys aren't laid off? Well, we work for government. Yeah. What do you mean, Tosh? It's Chris, $5. I stopped going to nursing school when I started my construction/service business. I learned all the trades. Best choice ever. Good. Yeah. He may have to do a complete 180 and go into the trades. Zeke Meister, $5. I'm an electrician by title, but I also do some engineering work and recently been picking up fumigation and chemical work, all the same company. Well, good. That's great. I suppose, yeah, if you're an electrician, you go back. Oh my God, termites. And then they got a division over there. I got to tell you guys a story, but I think I may have told it before. Southern Command, when I first started watching over the place, found out there's scorpions down here. Found a scorpion in the kitchen, but it was at the bottom of my shoe because it was crushed. And then there was one in the toilet. I don't know if someone went outside and got one and put it in the toilet or what, but this freaked the hell out of me. And I went to town. And so I looked up everything on YouTube and Google and all that. This is back when Google would give you an answer. I did everything. I caulked, I put down the bituminous earth, I sprayed, I pulled the weeds, I got rid of all the other insects that the scorpions eat. I sprayed the scorpions, I put up screens, everything. And so I ended up calling an extermination company because it's bad. If you're allergic to these things, you are not in for a good time. You're going right to the hospital. It's bad. Frothing at the mouth. I'm like, that's not, nope. I do not want to froth. I've never frothed at the mouth. I am not going to start. When you say frothing at the mouth, I'm like, oh, that's not, I don't know. Froth is not, I don't know what froth is made of, and I don't want to find out. So I called up a pest control place and I said, hey, I did all this stuff. Can you tell me what I'm missing? So he says, so what'd you do? I said, I did this and this and this and this and that. And the gal says, yeah, you did everything we would do. There's literally nothing else to do. I'm like, okay, cool. And then she's like, are you looking for a job? I was like, no. But now I know that if push comes to shove, Cappy's Scorpion Killing Service at your service. Ooh, maybe I can go out to the new rich part of Henderson or Summerlin and bang the trophy wives out there. Yeah, that would totally happen. Real $2. MSCS, Learn SQL, tons of legacy system stills. MSCS, what does that mean, Real? Not Masters of Science, Computer Science. Hang on, let me just look it up. MSCS, what is that? Masters of Science and Computer Science. He doesn't even have a bachelor's degree. I think him just picking up some database would be a good mix between the accounting world and the IT world, or the IT world. Let's go here. Bernardino, $5. In my opinion, the government is never honest about when we go into recession. Certainly won't be honest about depression. They've been messing with the GDP figures and unemployment figures and inflation figures that I'm more likely to believe shadow stats than the federal government right now. It's a shame what happened to the economics profession. Pretty much all the economists everywhere is, what do you want me to tell you what the answer is? And that means pretty much every government economist, state, federal, or local, is some kind of leftist. They may not even be a leftist. They'll just rationalize the left because that's how they get paid. And then the dwindling number of private sector accountants or economists, I don't even know if there are any anymore. I don't think if they did their job, they would, frankly, they would have prevented the housing bubble. They would have prevented the education bubble. They would have done a lot of good. But the handful of times I was working as an economist in the private sector, in banking, they didn't want to hear it. They just didn't want to hear. I'm like, what are you fucking paying me for then? Paying you to suck my dick. Well, put that in the job description. Brandon Reed, $5. I'm set to graduate debt-free in 2 years with a bachelor's science in accounting and finance dual major. I didn't need the finance, but okay. And with the 150 credit. Oh, I see what you did there. Very clever move, Brandon. All right. Yeah, I guess you do get to sit for the CPA. Thank you. And yeah, no problem. That's a way to do it. You don't have to get it going to a master's program. Well, that's great. Yeah, the finance degree, it's not necessary, but it's not going to hurt you. Like, you understand now a whole different aspect, like valuations and appraisals and forecasting concepts like price to earnings and financing, assuming you focused on interest rates. No one ever explained duration to me. No, I took a whole course on it, taught by an Asian guy who didn't speak English. The Carlson School of Management, by the way. Asian guy, barely spoke English, couldn't teach for shit. What a fucking joke of it. As to this day, I don't know what duration means. No one's ever, I even looked it up. I'm like, what the fuck is this? All right. Link below. Speaking of accounting, we have a link to the world's greatest accounting career. A course me and Chad Elkins put together, available on Teachable for those of you who are interested in pursuing a career in accounting. I don't think that the client, you would need this course. I don't think, because you're not going to make the jump. It looks like a stake. Unless you're interested in becoming a tax accountant, working for yourself, then maybe. But for those of you interested in accounting as a career and a profession, just starting out, please consider taking that course. You know all your options, and you save a shit ton of time and money. You do not need a master's degree. You don't need your CPA even. Just become an enrolled agent. Many options there. That's linked below. Or you can find the world's greatest accounting career on Teachable. That's it. We'll see you guys later. Toodles.